I'm really not. I'm her roommate, Sage. It didn't seem to matter how much I tried explaining the situation. None of these men were willing to listen to what I had to say.
Too bad for you that your brother isn't around to learn the lesson himself, or else I'd just take the money he owes me out of his hide.
The two goons laughed as he shook his head.
Since he's disappeared into thin air without giving me the 10 large that he owes for a brick he was supposed to sell, I'm gonna have to make do with you. Junkie should have known better,
The guy on my left muttered.
He really should have.
The boss agreed with an evil smirk.
I can't let his transgression slide, or else I'll lose respect. Then some dealer will think he can invade my territory, and I'd have to kill him.
I knew that Paul had struggled with drugs in the past, but I had no idea that he had relapsed, or that he owed his dealer enough money to have the man show up at our apartment. If I had, I never would have opened the door. I don't know what kind of trouble my roommate's brother has gotten himself into, and I have no idea where he is, I swore, tilting my head back toward the apartment. If you let me get my purse, I can prove that I'm not Phoebe.
Do you have 10K in it?
He asked, sarcasm thick in his tone. Shaking my head, I whispered, No.
Then no fucking deal.
That was all the warning I got before he slammed his fist into my face. Pain radiated up to my skull, and I felt a trickle of blood drip down my cheek. A sob burst from my lips, and I would have fallen to the ground if his men hadn't still been holding me. The boss stepped closer, and I cringed back in fear. Please don't hurt me.
Save your begging for your brother. It's up to him if you suffer more or not.
He looked up at his men, and they released my arms. I dropped to my knees, and he crouched in front of me. My roommate's brother, I whispered. His eyes narrowed as he considered me.
You have me more than half convinced you're actually telling the truth. But it doesn't matter in the end. If Paul doesn't get me my money, any woman who lives at this address is gonna pay for his mistake.
He straightened and stormed down the hallway, his men following in his wake as he finally left me alone. Getting to my feet, I stumbled back into my apartment and grabbed my purse. As I yanked out my cell phone, I shoved my feet into a pair of shoes and grabbed a sweatshirt. Pulling the hood over my head, I slid my hair over my shoulder to cover as much of my face as I could while still being able to see where I was going. Then I headed out the door and down to my car. Pulling out of the parking lot, I called Phoebe. I wasn't surprised she didn't answer since she was at work. When her voicemail finally beeped, I blurted, "Your brother is in trouble. Some guy came looking for him at the apartment. He's dangerous and incredibly insistent about finding Paul. You need to stay away from the apartment. Maybe go and stay with your parents for a while. Your brother owes the guy a lot of money, and he won't hesitate to hurt you if Paul doesn't pay him. Be careful." I skipped over the part about the punch to my face, because I didn't want Phoebe to worry about me. She had bigger issues to focus on at the moment. Once I disconnected, a sob welled up my chest. I'd managed to hold back my tears while I was leaving her the message. I didn't have a destination in mind when I left. I just wanted to get as far away from my apartment as possible. When I hit a red light, I flipped down the sun visor and slid the mirror open so I could peer up at my reflection. My eyes widened when I spotted the cut in the middle of the apple of my cheek. I hadn't realized how deep it was, or that blood was still dripping down my face. I definitely needed medical attention, so I figured that I might as well head to the nearest urgent care. Glancing down at my sweatshirt, I groaned at the red speckles all over the front. I didn't have much time to obsess over how hard it was going to be to get the stain out.